This is the first set of some training videos that we've put together with regards to educating people how to keep themselves protected on their own computers. What we've found through the computer store is that the bulk of protecting yourself is actually come from education and not special softwares and so forth. Although special softwares are important and certainly key to protecting yourself from various threats that you don't necessarily see, the more common ones are threats that you've instigated yourself as a person. So what we're going to do here is we're going to simulate what would typically happen when somebody's getting what we call malware, or what we call we're not allowed to call it malware anymore, incidentally, is we have to call it a potentially unwanted program. And for those that have trouble remembering acronyms, we could sort of use maybe United Party as an acronym. That'll help you remember it. But potentially unwanted programs, we're not allowed to call them malwares because these people that write them have legal status, unfortunately. So where do these malwares or potentially unwanted programs come from? And why do they exist, for that matter? The short answer is money. Pretty much everybody out there on the internet is out to get your money. And they will use all sorts of tricks to get that money. And if you're aware that whenever you go online that there is not really anything for free, we get free to air TV, is it really free? No, we have to deal with the ads. And the same goes for your computer. We have to deal with the ads. Now, there are ways of fast forwarding the ads, by pre-recording on TV. Well, just the same, we can actually avoid these potentially unwanted programs that deliver ads and possibly other things that we don't necessarily want, simply by taking a few key steps. So that's sort of the preamble here to what we're about to do. So if you can have a look at your screen, the screen here, and see we've got old faithful Google here, still my favorite search engine, and we're going to look up a program called CD Burner XP. It is actually an excellent program. I cannot recommend it highly enough for those willing to take the risk on the malware when they go to install it, but it does come bundled with some potentially unwanted programs, aka, and I'm not allowed to say it, but some may refer to it as malicious software. So just here, we're just Googling it in, CD Burner XP, and this is the correct site. This is not a false site or anything like that. This is the official CD Burner XP, but this person wasn't getting enough money from donations, so we thought I'll allow these other companies to support me. And so here's the usual downloading section. That's fairly normal. Nice fast internet connection there. And hang on, we'll just pause there. From there, what you can see is there's a little bit of a thing that says, do you want to allow the following program to make changes to this computer? Now, that's a key point. This is user account control. You can see up here at the very top of that box, user account control. We can also see everything went dark in the background. And looking at that, it's asking you a question, and the default answer that everybody clicks is, well, yes, I want this program, therefore I trust it. Do you really trust it? And the answer is, I don't trust it, but I still want the program, so I'm going to click yes, but I know to be quite cautious at this stage. So we'll go back to the program here. And so we go next, knowing full well that, oh, hang on, what's this here? We know full well that it's going to have somewhat of a control over our system and possibly do damage to our system, or possibly make serious changes to the system, any of those things. Now, this is our first clue to malware. Legally, to be classed, sorry, not malware, potentially unwanted programs. Legally, to be classed as a potentially unwanted program, they must give you the option of installing it. And not only that, another way of forcing that classification is to state that it is actually software, and as such there's a license agreement and everything. So what we can see here, we can see two license agreements, one for CD Burner XP And there's another one there, install core installation guidelines. Interesting enough, the last time I saw this it said open candy, which installation guidelines or something like that. But essentially, we don't need to know what it's called, we just need to know that there's 2 licenses. And as a general rule, if there's 2 licenses, that means one for the program and one for something else. And we most certainly, generally, don't want something else, meaning the adware or potentially unwanted programs. So we'll allow that to go through. I do accept the agreement. It's actually 2 A4 pages that anyone wants to print out. They can certainly email me. The link's on warragulcomputerrepair.com.au, of course, and I can, or I may even upload a video there. But we'll just move forward with that. We'll accept that link because we're not going to get it. This is all. Oh, hang on. What's this? War Thunder Fire. Oh, this looks cool. That's probably got nothing to do with CD burning. I'm pretty sure that but I might want no, Junior's probably going to say yes, I want that. See, we'll simulate a 12-year-old installing it, and 12-year-olds are very good at getting malwares. They would normally tick on that. Oh yes, lovely, I'll have this War Thunder thing here, and next, and all of a sudden War Thunder might be a good game. It's probably got some paid in-app purchases at a guess. I don't know, I've never seen this one before. But as a general rule, this is where your potentially unwanted programs or adware or something else that would be dropped in there, this is where it would be. And it is as simple as making sure that this button here, or sorry, box, is not ticked. Sometimes they're ticked by default, sometimes they're not. But just make sure if you click that next button, make doubly, triply sure that that box is unticked. If you don't want it. I mean, you never know. You might want your computer with pop-ups all over the place, or various games offering to do in-app purchases for things at outrageous prices. You might want that. So I'm not going to say it's a bad program. I'm going to say you may not want it, a potentially unwanted program. But we'll click next because we've made sure that that box is not clicked. This is all normal stuff. We're not going to bother going through the rest of it because everything's pretty much the same from there. But at some point during that installation, we've had to untick something or make sure it wasn't ticked. Now, we're going to simulate a very common one, and this may shock a few people. Adobe Flash Player is also a potentially unwanted program dropper currently. They may change that in the future. But this is a different way that they do it. So before we download it, you can see in this area here that we've got optional offers. Now, I want you to focus on, just in a few seconds, when I first finish explaining this, we can see here that it says, yes, install Google Chrome. There's nothing wrong with Chrome, it's just you may not have wanted it. Make Google Chrome my default browser. That's probably a bad idea on Windows 10. Microsoft's Edge browser does like to be the primary browser. We don't know if that was just in beta release or particular release that I had, but it's a good idea to leave the Edge browser. That's in my opinion. I will state that so that nobody can sue me for this video, of course. And then we notice down here also, yes, install Google Toolbar for Internet. Toolbars generally, look, the Google ones are generally not too bad, but look, it is another example of a potentially unwanted program. So, you know, you may not have wanted them. A lot of people like this, but you may not have wanted it. So make sure that they're unticked. So if we continue here and just watch just underneath that Install Now button, when I untick those boxes, just watch what happens to the total size of the download. You see that shrink there? Because it's not putting the potentially unwanted programs in with it. And it is simply a matter of unticking boxes. It's as simple as that. You know, read. Absolutely read. Everything. At the end of the day, your computer is a salesman. If somebody knocks on the door and says, hey, take this free stuff, you know, you're sort of going to be sitting there, you're going to be cautious, yet we gobble it up from our computers for some reason. But we need to treat our computers with the same amount of caution as we would somebody knocking on the door. And it is a matter of saying, no, you go away. And for the most part, they just do.